So this is, a hair is a mess, right? This is the answer to why can I not find my soulmate? Okay, not only why can you not find your soulmate, but let's talk about for a minute, collectively, what is a soulmate? So, a soulmate is a connection between souls. So, your spiritual soulmates are those who come to you or to your life or come into your life for a greater purpose, okay? This is the person that's going to be responsible for the lessons that you learn from them. It is not, they are not material lessons, not material. These lessons will take you to a higher self. These lessons force you to see your true self. That's when it gets a little bit uncomfortable, okay? But how do you recognize your spiritual soulmate? Well, even upon your first meeting, when you meet that person, when you meet them for the first time and they're standing there in front of you, one, you feel like you've already known them for a long time. Two, they stand out differently than anyone else you've ever met, ever been with. I don't care if you was married for 25 years. If it wasn't your soulmate, when you meet this other person, you're going to know it. There can be many different soulmates in your lifetime. You don't just get one. There can be many. But they will all teach you a different lesson, okay, during their time with you. They are there for you, as I said, in your life for a greater purpose. When you and their energies, you and that person's energies combine, it creates a very unique energy, something unlike any other, that is beneficial to you in every single way. They help to create a significant change in your life, in your persona, in the way you say things, do things, feel about things, the way you love. And it is definitely something that anybody who knows you will see the difference in you when you have met your soulmate. These soulmates always feel like home. No matter what, it always feels like home. That's how you know, because without even trying, you're comfortable. Without even trying, you're open up. You'll talk about anything. Without even trying, you feel love already from the start, from the first moment you met. You feel the word love. You feel love. Now, a lot of you are wondering, why can't I find my soulmate? Why can't I? A lot of the reason is either finding your soulmate, first of all, is either extremely difficult, almost near impossible for some, or it's a very easy process for others, depending on how you go about it, depending on what energies you're putting out there. For many of us, it's stressful, it's heart-wrenching, and for others, it's so easy, it's warm, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable throughout the whole journey of it, okay? Now, you have to understand that your journey to find your soulmate is a really big part of your attitude and how you choose to interact with this big world that's around you. You may not want to be alone or feel lonely anymore. That may be why you want this soulmate so bad. You want the right connection, you want the right relationship, you want the perfect combination. But you may not be as ready as you think you are for this person to come into your life, which is why the universe and the angels and your guides didn't bring them and line things up for you yet. You're not quite ready. If it hasn't happened and you've been single and you're tired of being lonely and you're sad, then you're still not doing some things. Those things could be so-called, you could be stuck in what they call an in-between space. In-between space is, leaving one relationship, getting ready to go into another with your soulmate, but waiting for that period to come, waiting for that lineup, waiting for them to be brought toward you. When you have negative thoughts or doubts of finding your mate, oh, I'll never find one, I can't find my soulmate, I'll never find a soulmate, I'm always going to be by myself. When you say all those things, you create what's called a loop effect, like a feedback loop, which causes an even more desperate, sad, emotional, depressing thought, feeling, energy, and circumstances. So everything around you will get even more lonely and lonelier. For some of you, maybe you don't have very good friendships with your friends. Maybe you're just not one to make friends easily. Maybe you're not one to be able to keep friendships. Well, it's time to change things and go out and make new friends. Whether that's getting involved in your community, getting involved in a gym, joining a singles club, going to single dances, going to bowling groups for single people. Anything that creates activity, movement, energy. When you do this, even dating, online, whatever, even if you don't ever go out on a date, just to talk to people on the computer, to talk back and forth, so you're not lonely, so you can have conversations, so you can make friends. You don't ever have to go and see them if you don't ever want to. But you need to start definitely getting involved. Pick a hobby that you enjoy. Then you'll find other people that enjoy that same hobby and interest of yours. That creates a lot of conversation in itself. But you definitely want to make new friendships. You definitely do. But the biggest key here is to finding your soulmate is definitely about finding yourself first. A lot of you say, I want somebody to love me for the real me, for the true me, for the person who I really am. Okay, so why aren't you acting like that person who you really are, the true you, the real you? Because the real you isn't the person who was damaged by your last partner. The real you isn't the person who's not trusting. The real you isn't the person that's going to bitch and moan when somebody's 10 minutes late. The real you isn't somebody who's going to judge someone else. The real you isn't the one who has self-doubt, self-pity, who's playing the victim right now. The real you is the victor. The real you loves yourself. The real you only knows to give love. That's it. The real you doesn't expect anything in return when they're giving to someone else. The real you is always happy, laughing, having a great time. The real you, before you allowed that one person, maybe a couple people, maybe you picked the same pattern, the same kind of person, male or female, and they continued to treat you wrong because you allowed it? Okay. So now, like I said, maybe you're not quite ready for this partner that you're seeking to come in yet. And the universe knows that. So what you do is you start breaking down things a little bit at a time. This is the hardest part, is to reflect, look in the mirror, figure out what it is that you know that you do that's not good. Whether you're jealous, whether you're controlling, whether you're very fussy, very picky, whether you're a pain in the ass, whether you're snobby, whether you're stuck up or conceited, whether you're selfish, whether you're closed up on your emotions. Whatever it is that you have, that we all have, there's things that we can improve upon with ourselves. Once you start to get your looks to where you want them to be, get your body to where you want it to be, get your house to the way you want it to be, get your vehicle in shape the way you want it to be, get your savings and your financial situations where you want it to be. Bring stuff to the table for this relationship that is going to be tempting for the other person. Be ready for that. Get your mind, body, and spirit lined up. You've got a lot of work to do. You want this person to come in. How soon? How fast? Yesterday? Well, what have you done? So remember, this message is for you wondering why you're caught in that feed loop, that feedback loop. That's not good. You're in that space right there, just waiting. You're waiting and you're stagnant. You're not building your friendships. You're not hanging with other friends. You're not creating balance between you and the people who aren't talking anymore. You're fighting over stupid things. You don't even remember what an argument was about, and you're still mad at that person. Like, come on. What are you doing? So this is my collective. Take it or leave it. You don't have to. But you want to know, how can you find your soulmate? First, you need to find yourself. And that's where it all begins. Okay? So join me, and we'll do a follow-up about our soulmates, ourselves, and what lies ahead of us in the future, and how we can get there, one step at a time, one day at a time. All right? And remember to always love yourself first. If you don't love you, how do you expect somebody else to? That's the question. So with that being said, why can't you find your soulmate? Why are you not with your soulmate? That's a good question. Now, let's write some more questions down so we can ask ourselves, what do I need to improve? What ways of mine do I need to change? What are my approaches to certain situations? How do I usually handle things when I'm upset or I don't get my way? We have to figure these things out, break them down, and slowly, one thing at a time, fix it, work on it. And the more you create a good habit and keep doing it and doing it and doing it, then it becomes second nature, and you just act that way automatically. So stay tuned, be prepared, and we'll talk soon.